Hey, what's up? It's Todd, and today I want to talk about something that is at the very core of your success with women. Because we can talk about tactics all day long, but all the tactics in the world won't help you if you're not fundamentally an attractive person. Even if you're able to fake it with tactics for a while, you will eventually be found out. So how can you be more attractive? Here are the top 5 behavioral traits you can take on to be a more attractive man. I'm actually intrigued by you. I'm Todd. You are? Nice to meet you. You have a very sort of elegant and yet I do what the fuck I want kind of. Well, yeah, snakes are not menacing at all, you know.
But, you know.
Okay, so hypothetically, and this is not an offer because I just met you, all right? We're taking this slow. For all I know, you know, if I'd wake up missing a kidney if I knew you. You're like,
Totally.
none of that, okay? But hypothetically, if we were to say, okay, we're gonna go to say JFK, and we'll go up to, I don't know, I like Delta. That's my favorite airline. You can disagree with me if you'd like, but we'll walk up there. And we'll say we want the next flight to anywhere that has 2 states next to each other. That's it. And then no bags. We'll buy shit when we get there. Would you be like, that sounds crazy fun, or would you be like, oh my god, no?
All right, here's my shade of an answer.
Shade.
I would never do that if you called me at 9 a.m. Saturday, say we're leaving at 9:30. But if you said, you know, whatever time in advance, we're gonna do this, and at the last second pick where we go, that's fine. Basically, I won't drop my life at the drop of a hat, but I'd be totally down with the unknown.
Okay. One of these days, you wouldn't be the worst company for, you know, a quick drink and some banter. I'll make sure to call your assistant well in advance and make sure it doesn't interfere with your schedule.
Exactly.
All those kind of things.
She's gonna be like, no, this bitch is getting up at 4:45 tomorrow. If you do not catch her, whatever, or tonight is not whatever. Yeah, she'll know.
I just respect the fact you allow your assistant to refer to you as bitch in communications with others. That shows character. How do I reach your people?
My people.
Or you would be fine, but we'll see.
I won't loop into this one.
The first male trait I'm going to mention may sound obvious to you at first, but it's probably not what you think. The name of this trait is attractiveness, but I do not mean facial symmetry and looking like a model. What I mean is that you are making the most of your looks and that you do have a look that conveys something about you. So it's kind of funny, as guys, we look at girls and we think, oh, genetically attractive, oh, I like her, right? And that's a biological thing because we want a good vessel to, have kids with, right? It's a survival and reproduction kind of a thing. For guys, though, physical attractiveness, beyond just indicating general health, doesn't really mean much. So what is the attractiveness I'm talking about? Well, I'm talking about being in good shape. I'm talking about having a good haircut, good style, and being a look which indicates that you are somebody, that you're successful, that you're ambitious, that you have status. Because those are the type of things that a girl's really looking for. So she's looking for you to be attractive, but she's mainly looking for you to be attractive as a sign of who you actually are as a man, rather than as you just looking physically like a model. Okay, so a lot of guys, being attractive, it means getting in the gym and growing a beard, or it means getting a good haircut and getting clothes that fit, right? That's a bigger thing for attractiveness than just looking physically attractive. In fact, there are a lot of guys that look physically very good. If they dressed and got a look together, they maybe even could be a professional model or something like that, but they look lame to girls because they look dorky, have a bad haircut, those kind of things. So it's not about being physically good looking in a genetic way. It's about making the most of your appearance and having a look. In fact, if you go to a lot of times the hottest clubs, places like that, if you look at the guys, you'll see a lot of the guys are not even completely physically attractive, but they will match up with the appearance. They'll match up with the social stereotype and the way of dressing and the way of looking and carrying themselves that you're looking for that particular club. Also, another thing, as long as I'm talking about carrying yourself, posture is a huge part of how you look, and how you move is a huge part of how you look. So being physically fit and athletic, having good posture instead of slouching over and hunching, all those things are gonna help, okay? So it's not just you have to be born with it or not. You can make a ton of difference with your physical appearance. I mean, case in point, me, right? When I was 18 years old, I was actually a college athlete, soon to be semi-professional athlete, but I was not physically that attracted to women. I didn't get a lot of compliments on my looks. Now I'm a middle-aged guy that's kind of out of shape, a little bit overweight, whatever, but I get lots of compliments. Why? Because better hairstyle, better clothes. I grow a beard, which my face massively needs because I have a baby face when I don't grow it, things like that. So attractiveness does not mean physical attractiveness. It means your look, not your looks. The next highly attractive male trait is assertiveness. The ability to ask for what you want, the ability to go after what you want, the ability to stand up for yourself. Now, why would this be attractive? It makes sense in a small sort of, small tribal society. If you did stand up for yourself and it went well for you, that means you have status. It means that you are somebody within the tribe. If when you ask for something you always got smacked down and told no, you'd probably stop asking for things very, very quickly. So it is an indicator of status. Also for the girl, it is a convenience. It's nice to be around a guy who's going to go after what he wants. Nice to be around a guy who's going to stand up and ask for things, because that means as a girl, you don't have to. It fundamentally makes your life better, makes your life easier. And actually, even in the modern day, most men, aside from even attractiveness with girls, are fundamentally way, way, way too unassertive. Hell, most people are unassertive and could probably do way better by being more assertive. So this is just a good trait to adopt in general. Go after what you want, take a risk. We no longer live in a small tribal society where asking for something and hearing no would affect your social status for the next 10 years. Right now we live in a society of strangers. Most of the time if you're asking for something from somebody, it is a stranger, and you're probably likely to just be given it out of convenience. All right, so ask for what you want, stand up for yourself, make a firm decision, right? When a girl asks you a question, what kind of music do you like? The actual answer doesn't matter, but you hemming and hawing and trying to get the right answer looks really bad. You just having an answer looks much better. Be assertive, trust yourself, go after what you want, stand up for yourself. It's massively, massively attractive, massively useful, especially in the modern day and age. I think like biologically, we are programmed to be less assertive than is ideal in the modern era. So even aside from attractiveness with women, please step up, be more assertive. It will probably help you in life as well. The next very highly attractive male trait is assuredness. And this may at first get confused with assertiveness, the previous trait, because they both do kind of correlate to confidence. If you're confident, you're likely to ask for what you want. Also, if you're confident, you're likely to act in an assured manner. You're likely to assume that you're right, likely to assume that you're attractive, likely to assume the girl likes you, those kinds of things. But they are distinct. For example, you could have someone who's assured but not assertive. Maybe they are afraid to go walk up and talk to someone, but if someone talks to them, they can act confidently. You can also have someone who's assertive but not assured. You can have the guy who walks up and starts saying self-deprecating things and starts downplaying himself. So they are not the same thing. They are two distinct traits, okay? So what is assuredness? Assuredness is your belief that you are worthwhile, your belief that you're of value, your belief that you are right when you make decisions, your belief that she is going to like you. And if you don't believe it, how the hell is anybody else going to? Right? I mean, when you go in and start talking to someone, you have a frame, an idea of what is true about the world, and you're trying to put that frame across to the other person and get them to buy into it. If your frame itself is not helping you, if your frame itself is not something that, if true, would lead to sex, if it's not making you an attractive person, well, then you're just setting yourself up to fail. So it's much better in general to take the assumption that you are right and you're attractive and people like you. And the other side of the conversation can try and disprove it if they like, but you may as well be at least on your own team in this case. Imagine going in and taking the opposite approach. It's just self-sabotage, it's just not gonna work. Also, if you look at why this is an attractive trait, aside from just the conversational dynamics it creates, look at it in terms of evolution. If you were assured, confident, cocky in a tribal setting and didn't back it up, you would be smacked down very quickly. So the ability to act that way is an honest signal. It's social proof that you've had a good life, that you've had success in your life, that you've been popular and well received throughout your life. And therefore, it is an attractive trait for that reason as well. Okay, well, the first three traits have been clearly high value traits. Being attractive, definitely high value. Being assertive, clearly high value. Being assured, definitely an indication of high value. The next trait is actually arguably an indication of lower value, and yet it can be attractive. More specifically, it can be a multiplier if you already have those other traits in place. I wouldn't recommend it as a trait all unto itself though, because it's actually a mistake a lot of guys make to overuse this trait at the expense of others, okay? And this trait is attentiveness, right? Being aware of what's going on with the girl, paying attention, remembering things, participating very actively in the conversation, in the relationship, etc. So a lot of guys lacking in value try and make up for it with this, right? They remember every little detail of the conversation, and to the girl who doesn't remember any of it because the girl wasn't high value, it just looks like creepy and needy, right? Or it's like the the stalker guy who doesn't have the courage to approach the girl but knows every little detail of her life because he's been eavesdropping all our conversations. That's just fucking weird and creepy, right? Or the friend who's like never ever expressed any man to woman-ness because he's afraid to, but knows every little detail and like obsesses over the girl. That's overly attentive without value. That's all bad. But if you are a high value person, if you are triggering and sparking attraction in a girl, being attentive as well will massively magnify it. And here's why. Girls have basically two reproductive strategies, right? One is sleep with the highest value guy no matter what. The other is sleep with a guy who will stick around and help raise kids. And the perfect mix is the high value guy that for some reason finds them special and cares about them and will stay around even though the girl doesn't deserve him. And that's what you're doing if you are a high value guy and you're also attentive, if you're also paying attention, if you're also aware, if you're also just doing little things to make her experience better. Also, being attentive is going to help you in the sense of it is being present in the conversation and not in your head and all over the place, not focused on what happened 5 minutes ago or not focused on the agenda you have down the road. And so it is going to make you more charismatic, more interesting, all those kind of things as well. But being attentive, showing that whatever high value you have, there is an avenue to the girl getting it, showing that potentially there is something special between you and her will help you if and only if you are already a high value guy. If you're a low value guy being attentive, it will probably come off as creepy. But that said, it is a massive, massive useful trait, and it's something that a lot of guys are missing. A lot of guys know how to be cocky assholes, but they don't know how to be real, they don't know how to be genuine, they don't know how to actually connect with a girl. So if you have that as well, it's going to put you on a whole nother sort of tier in terms of the girls getting attracted to you and really falling in love with you. The fifth and final attractive male trait we're going to talk about is also one that can definitely be overdone and that works better in conjunction with other traits. It is aliveness, the willingness to take risks, the willingness to do something crazy. And the reason this can be taken too far, I mean, think about this. If you hear class clown, is that a positive or negative label? Not really entirely positive. It does have some positives to it, but it's not on the whole what you want. But think about this. Say you're at a party and there's some people that want to go skinny dipping and some people are like afraid to take their shirt off or afraid of getting in trouble with the police or some shit like that, right? Which guys are getting laid? The ones that are taking their shirt off and skinny dipping are the ones that are getting laid. So first and foremost, taking on this trait is going to put you in a lot of good situations. It's also the risk-taking mentality, the risk-taking philosophy, that attitude. If that's present in your interactions, it's going to lead to the girls taking a lot more risks with you, which will lead to a lot more positive risks in your favor, especially if you're doing pickup, having one-night stands, those kind of things. But just in general, it is an attractive trait. Risk-taking is attractive because why? It shows that when you've taken risks in the past, it hasn't been punished. You haven't been, you're not dead from taking risks. In a very real sense, things like riding a motorcycle, or even worse, riding a motorcycle without a helmet is like dangerous and or stupid. But girls do get attracted to guys who do it because they've done this stupid thing and lived. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go do death-defying, risk-taking things and getting dead, but I am saying there is a correlation. All right, so if you can in small ways indicate you're willing to take risks, that is going to be perceived as a very positive thing. So take a risk, be a leader. Take a risk, say something controversial. All these things are going to massively help you. And again, if you're in that mentality of partying, that's only going to help you as well. Now again, don't be crazy with it and don't be just the guy who becomes the dancing monkey, the clown, the entertainer. You need to, through these alive behaviors, you want to be also conveying attractiveness, assertiveness, assuredness, those core high value behaviors. But again, aliveness is going to really put you on the radar, really get you noticed, and really put you in a lot of great situations. And again, it is positive social proof because the fact that you've taken risks and not died is very helpful. So there's the complete list: attractiveness, assertiveness, assuredness, attentiveness, and aliveness. If you have this cocktail of 5 behaviors, you are going to be absolutely irresistible to girls. And even any one of them will massively help you, with the one little asterisk that being too attentive without the others can be perceived as a little needy and low value. But you know what? Even if you were a low value guy, a low value attentive guy has a better chance than a low value unattentive guy, all right? So adopt these traits, see where you can weave them into your game, weave them into your personality, and this is gonna help you be attractive to girls, not just on cold approach, not just on social circle, not just online, but in every single interaction you're ever gonna have with a female. So use these, adopt these, and go reap the rewards.